So, guys, in yesterday's class, we completed creating a policy. Did you guys practice that?
I tried to open that and everything, but I think you forgot to upload the lectures yesterday.
It's it. Could be. I got busy yesterday. Okay, no worries. I'll upload it. Mm.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so guys, today we're starting with translation part. So tell me, guys, what is translation? What is translation, and why do we need translation? What is translation, and why do we need translation?
Uh, uh, Normally, we map private IP addresses to public IP addresses so that
Mm-hmm.
we can go to the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay, that's correct
we,
answer. But why translation is required? Okay, let me
uh,
guys. See, translation, first of all, why translation? Let me give you answer of this. Why translation? So basically, we have two IP versions, IPv4 and we have IPv6. These are the two versions. In IPv4, we have 2 to the power of 32 number of IP addresses. In IPv6, we have 2 to the power of 128 IP addresses. In IPv4, we have class A, and in a class A again we have a range of private and public IP. Again we have class B, class C. We do have class E, sorry, D and class E, but these are used for some special purposes, broadcast and multicast purpose. So in a networking, we use these three classes. First of all, the number of IPs that we have in IPv4 is very less, 2 to the power 32. In that also, we have a range of private and public IPs, which are not sufficient for growing number of users. Okay. In India, understand after 2016, since Geo company had come, number of users has rapidly grown. I mean, in villages also, you can see in interior areas. Now, each guys are using internet. So each guy connecting to our internet is counted as a single user, right? So in IPv4, we had shortage of IPs and shortage of public IP, you can say. Okay, shortage of public IP. So to fulfill the requirement of public IP, right? They came up with concept of translation, and there onwards in IPv4 we have a translation. So basically we use translation to go from private to public, or it can be from public to private, vice versa. But actual reason why translation is required in IPv4 is shortage of IPv4 address, IPv4 public IP. That's the main reason. Now, when it comes to IPv6, have you guys seen any translation in IPv6? Have you seen any translation in IPv6? No, we don't have any IPv6 concept, any translation concept in IPv6. That's a reason why without translation also in IPv4 we can survive for upcoming 50 to 60 years. That much IPs are available with IPv6. So there is a misconception. Directly you guys give an answer that we need to communicate between private to public and public to private. That's why translation is required. Or you give a reason ISP does not support uh, route for the private IP, or private IP is not routable on an internet backbone. Such type of reasons you guys give. But that is fine. But primarily you have to make understand that why translation concept came in a picture. So you should start telling in IPv4 we have shortage of public IP. To fulfill the requirement of public IPs, right? To fulfill the requirement of internet access, not public IPs, internet access, in IPv4 we came with the concept of translation. That's the primary reason. Guys, am I clear about this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we'll understand types of translations. Can anyone tell me how many types of translations are there? Basically, translations are divided into two major parts. Two major types of translations are there. One is source translation, and the other one is destination translation. Source translation means where source is getting translated. So mostly you can say private to public, or you can say LAN to WAN situation. Source translation is used. Destination translation, you can say public to private, which is WAN to LAN. This is the case where mostly it is used. Okay. Private to public and LAN to WAN. This is source translation. At public to private, WAN to LAN, mostly you will see destination translation used. Now, to fulfill this type of requirements, we have the translations like Dynamic NAT or Dynamic PAT. Or we mostly in a destination NAT we use static NAT or a static PAT. Now, it's not like we don't use static NAT or a PAT in a source translation. We can use, but very rare these conditions will come. Okay. So as per the use case, as per the requirement, if you see, mostly with the source NAT, dynamic comes into a picture, mostly with the destination, static comes into a picture. See, try understanding logic. So two things I would say keep in mind to understand where dynamic will be used and where static will be used. If you see Okay, if you want, fixed IP, then go for static. Okay. Second, if you don't care about which IP you are getting translated with, then go for dynamic. Right. So these are two simple fundas that I want you guys to remember. Okay. If you see you need a fixed IP, then go for static. But if you don't care which IP you're getting translated with, then go for dynamic. Very simple fundamental of your understanding where dynamic will be used and where static will be used. For example, I'm giving an example of the first option, static. I'm giving you an answer of this. Guys, you guys need RDP access, right? Now see, I take a RDP access all the time, right? In this RDP access, if my destination IP keeps changing, will I be able to take RDP access?
No.
No.
So what's the requirement here?
To be fixed.
Fixed IP.
So I need a fixed IP so that I can, connect to a particular destination, right? So in this case, where you need a fixed IP or a fixed port number, if it is only a fixed IP, it's a dynamic NAT. If it is a IP with port number, it's a PAT. Okay. So static NAT or a static PAT, if it is fixed, it's a static. If it is not fixed, it's a dynamic. Now I'll give you a simple example of second option. If you don't care which IP you are getting translated with, then go for dynamic. It means what? Right now, all of you guys are connected with Wi-Fi at your home, correct? And you guys are getting internet access. You have connected for the class. Did you guys think that which IP you have translated with and you are getting internet access? Did you think about that? Did you care about which IP you got translated with? Guys, answer.
No. No, we
No.
didn't care
No.
about it.
We didn't care about it. Even I didn't care about it. In such scenario, your device is doing dynamic translation. It's a dynamic PAT because multiple hosts are connected with your router and multiple hosts getting access. So that's a dynamic PAT. So these are the two strong, type of concepts that you can tell in which scenario static will be used and in which scenario dynamic will be used. So first of all, I'll show you a source translation. In a source translation, let's discuss about going from LAN to WAN. And I'll show you first of all dynamic NAT, how to use dynamic NAT in your organization or at your home or wherever it is. Okay. So talking about dynamic NAT, in a dynamic NAT, what happens? First of all, understand it's one to one translation. Now you might be thinking, why one-to-one translation? This word you have used with a static, or you have heard about a static one-to-one translation. Okay, it's one-to-one translation. Why did I use this word one-to-one translation? It's since it's a dynamic, but still, why did I call it as a one-to-one translation? Understand, equal number of private and public IPs required in Dynamic NAT. Equal number of private and public IPs required. Now what's that? Let's try understanding. If I have, let's say, 5 private IPs, 10.11.11.1, and if I have a public IP, for example, I'm taking any public IP, 100.10.150.10, for example, or 50.1. So one public IP, one private IP, one public IP. So this is dot 2, this is dot 2, dot 3, dot 3, dot 4, dot 4, dot 5, dot 5. And let's say here I have one more private IP, dot 6. Right. Now understand, in this scenario, if this guy tries to initiate a traffic one by one, so as per the what do you say, first come first serve basis. So this guy initiated first, it got translated to this IP, and accordingly the others got translated. But I had 5 public IPs and 5 private IPs. They all got internet access with one public IP. Okay. Now, if this third guy tries to go outside, won't be able to go. Reason, your pool is exhausted. Your number of public IPs are exhausted. It won't be able to go outside. Right? So now in this case, what to do? So either you need one public IP here, or anyone else has to leave a network. So this was called one-to-one translation, because for one private IP, one public IP was required. Now here, let's say if this guy initiates a traffic first, and then this guy, then this guy, then this guy, then this guy. So any 5 guys will get a internet access at a time. Again, this third guy will not get a internet access because pool has exhausted. This is called dynamic. Dynamic in the sense, it does not have a fixed translation. Whichever IP is available in a pool, it can get translated with that IP based on the availability of IP in a pool. This is called dynamic. It means it's not fixed. When I say static, it is fixed. NAT means one IP to IP translation. There is no port number involved. IP to IP translation. This is called dynamic NAT. And guys, logically, if you think, like I told you in IPv4, we have shortage of public IP, right? And if I use a dynamic NAT as a solution, do you think we are saving the number of public IPs? Guys,
No,
pay
no, sir.
attention.
Yes, sir. सेव तो हो रहा है.
No,
Now, what I'm asking, if I use one-to-one public IP, am I saving public IPs over here?
no, sir.
Definitely no, right? So purpose of translation was to save your public IP. And here we are not able to save our public IPs. It's like for one host, I'm using one public IP. Let's say at your home, you have five mobile, you have five mobiles, one TV, one Alexa, one CCTV, etc. So we have 8 devices over here. Do you think you will take individual connection for each device? Do you think you will take 8 public IPs here to give internet access to them? No, right. That is not saving your cost, and even that's not the way of saving your public IP. So dynamic path is not used mostly. 99% we use dynamic path in a real time. We don't use dynamic NAT in a real time most of the time. Most of the time, dynamic path is used, right? But still, I'll show you how to do practical of dynamic NAT. So let's see. So for testing purpose, what I'll do is I'll take a RDP access. And what I'll do is for testing purpose, guys, for testing purpose, uh, let me take one router at WAN side. Let me make it as a WAN router. Let's say WAN R2. Let me take one management cloud. So this is WAN zone, connecting towards WAN zone. And in a LAN, for testing, I'll take 2 routers. See, if I take 2 PCs, it will consume 8 GB RAM.
So 2 PCs.
If I take 2 PCs, it will consume 8 GB RAM. Okay.
That's a lot. Yeah.
So instead of taking 8 GB, why don't I take 2 routers here, which will consume only 2 GB RAM, right? My purpose would be telnet, SSH, or ping, which I can fulfill with the help of router itself. So there is no point of consuming 8 GB RAM, which can be fulfilled with 4 GB, sorry, 2 GB. Okay, one PC already we have taken. So this is LAN, this is WAN, right? We'll configure this. We'll configure this. So as per our topology, I took one switch here, for example. And and I took two routers here. And connecting these two routers on a switch. Let's say this is R14, R15. R14 and R15. And it has to go outside. So this is our switch. Okay. And here I'll take two public IPs. Guys, here for me, public IP should be from this particular subnet. Understood? So for me, you have to assume from this subnet, I'll take two public IPs. This is private actually, but you have to assume due to this IP, I'm getting an internet access. So we have to assume this subnet as a public as of now. Okay. Because firewall does not have IP from this subnet over here. So think only about these aspects. Here, this is our public IP. Let me ping 192.168 1 dot 6 to 161. It's not in use. 162 not in use. Okay. So I'll use these two public IPs. Okay. So I'll use these two public IPs as of now to translate these three guys. But if you see one-to-one concept, only two guys should be able to go with two public IPs. Now let's say if I have two public IPs, 192.168.1.161 till 192.168.1 dot, right, 162. If I have these two public IPs here, so technically any two guys can go outside and third guy won't be able to go outside. The reason would be exhausting a range of public IP or a pool of public IP. Guys, till this point, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
What about others? Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this practical now. I'm sharing this topology again with you guys. Now understand, I'll assign IP address. Okay, so here I'll take R14, R15. Here I'll take .2 IP. So let's see. Hmm. So starting with R14, host name R14, interface Z0 by 0, IP address 10.11.11.14, mask of 24. Give a default route towards the gateway 10.11.11.10. So as per the topology, oh sorry, our gateway as a 50, not as a 10. So I need to change the IP, gateway IP. First of all, let me tell no to this. $50. Now same thing I'll do here. Host name R15, interface is 0 by 0, IP address 10.11.11.15. And I'll say /24, no shared. 10.11.11.50. Now, once I'm done with this WAN router where I'll try to telnet interface G0 by 0, IP address 192.168.1 dot, let me make it as a 163 as an IP. And as per my topology, here I have taken one router. Okay, I have taken one router. As per the topology, here I took one new router, and this router is connected for testing purpose. I gave WAN R2 name here, and I gave IP dot 163 from this subnet. and gateway will be 160 here. Host name WAN R2, and I'll say IP route 0.0.0 towards 192.168.1.160. From here, I'll ping my gateway. This is my gateway IP, right? So I'll ping my gateway and check whether it is reachable or not. Yeah, it's reachable. And from these two routers also, I'll ping my gateway. This is my gateway IP. Yeah, it's reachable. Ping gateway, it's reachable. So everything looks good now. Our WAN router is also ready. Now, if I have to access LAN to WAN, I'll try to telnet here. Okay, I'll try to telnet here to the firewall. Okay, and it should not give access to a third user. Only two users should get access. Now coming to WAN router, I'll say line VTY04, password as a Cisco. Oh, sorry, I gave a space here. Cisco transport input all. Give this command. Now, let's create a policy. I'll get access to https:// Locally also I can access 192.168.1.160 is my local IP. I'm accessing through RDP, but if I access from outside, then I'll use public IP. Admin capital A small p at the rate 12345. Guys, don't get confused here. Okay. If I'm accessing from my home, I'll access through public IP. I'll access through this. This is my public IP. I'm accessing from home. But if I go to RDP, for RDP, my router, my firewall will be local to my local network. I can directly access private IP. Okay. So don't get confused. Now here, I'll go to policy. Inside of policy, I'll go to firewall policy. And here, LAN to WAN, yesterday we created a policy. Oh, sorry. It's not the one that I'm talking about. I didn't create this. I'll delete it. This is not the one that I created. Okay, I have one implicit rule only. Let me create one rule. I would say LAN to WAN. Incoming interface is LAN zone. Outgoing interface is WAN zone. My source subnet is my LAN subnet. Subnet is 10.11.11.0/24 through interface LAN. Destination, let it be any, all address. I don't know the destination, let it be all. And services, let it be all as of now that I want to get access. Now here it is asking for NAT. NAT, I'll go with a dynamic pool. So to add a dynamic pool, I have to click add here and I have to create a pool. So say NAT pool and give 1 to 1. That will be static. and 192.168.1.161 till 192.168.1.162. Two public IPs I gave and apply this translation here. That's it. And say OK. So I applied a translation with NAT pool. Now let me go to these three devices and try to access a router. Test 1, 2, 3. Now here I'll go to telnet. Telnet, I want to telnet this router 192.168.1.163. I got access, right? I got access to R2. Let me go to this LAN router. Okay, I already have. Telnet 192.168.1.163. I got access. This third user, if I try to telnet 192.168.1.163, not accessible. Reason? Reason is your pool has exhausted, right? If I say exit from here, if I break one connection, and then if you see, now this user will be able to go outside because now one public IP will be available in a pool. Okay. Now let me try again. Now this user is able to go outside. So at a time only two users able to go outside because we had limited IP in a pool and it followed one-to-one rule. So one public IP for one private IP, another public IP for another private IP. So two users were able to go outside. Guys, all of you, did you understand this?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll show you logs over here, output. You guys can go to dashboard, you can go to sessions, and here you can see that this private IP, while going outside, got translated to this public IP. Sorry, this was the destination that I wanted to reach. Okay, translation is not showing here. So what you can do is, if you put a mouse on, if you put mouse here, you see setting option, and here you can see source NAT address, apply. And here you can see one new tab will get added. I dragged it here. Now you can understand here. This source IP .8, while reaching to this destination, it got translated to this IP. Now this guy, while reaching to this destination, got translated to this IP in a pool. So this is how you understand the translation works for a dynamic NAT. Okay. Now guys, based on this, you guys will help me to create a flow here. So while sending a request, What was my source IP? Take any one of IP. What was the source IP? Guys, check this part, okay, and tell me. What was the source IP?
Dot
Guys,
8.
Dot 8.
okay. So guys, here we are creating source IP 10.11.11.8. What was the destination IP? See the topic and tell me what was the destination IP.
163.
See this part, see this one, see this one. So destination IP is here.
Yeah.
192.168.1.163. Now this packet went from your LAN to this packet went from your LAN to your FortiGate firewall, right? To your firewall. Now this source IP got translated to which IP? This is source NAT IP 192.168.1.161. And destination remained same because this was source translation. And packet now went from FortiGate firewall to your WAN router. This was a request. In a reply, who will reply? Your WAN router will reply. To whom? It will reply back to a translated IP. Now this packet will come from your WAN router to your FortiGate firewall. And FortiGate firewall will see this is a reply packet. So this guy will remain same. This was a translated IP for the original 10.11.11.8. It will untranslated back and it will send firewall. Firewall will send this packet to your LAN device. So if you see a guy who was a source who was sending a request has become destination. A guy who was a destination has become source in a reply. So that's how you understand the flow of translation. Guys, all of you, did you understand this?
Yes.
See, I want you guys to do practical of this, okay? And show me the output.
सर वीडियो अपलोड कर देना एक बार इसका थोड़ा
मैं अभी
प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा.
मैं अभी कर देता हूँ, ठीक है? अभी वीडियो अपलोड करके ये वाली टोपोलॉजी ले लो. Guys, download this current topology and post in a group itself. in a WhatsApp.
Sir, please download, upload the video of yesterday as well, sir. वो
Yeah,
practice हो जाएगा अच्छा.
I'll do that. Let me quickly delete whatever I configured right now, okay, so that you guys can do the same practical. See this pool which I created, you'll get inside a pool. And I created an object, so you'll get inside the addresses. So I'm deleting all this stuff. You guys do it from scratch. Yesterday's practical, today's practical, I want all those things to be done. Right now, in few minutes, I'll upload all the videos. Okay. I'm just uploading one video, which was yesterday's video. Give me a minute. I'll instantly upload it. Guys, I want all practicals to be done by tomorrow before I start the class. Get it done. No excuses, nothing. Just complete all the labs. I guess this is the one. Yesterday's video. Yep. FortiGate. All right, guys. Yesterday's video uploaded. Today's video also I'll upload it in few minutes once it gets converted. Okay. See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.